Hi, this is Michael De Silvas for May 13, 2013. My blog entry for today on Monday. Well, a lot of things happen in the news. We got government playing smear the campaign, smear other news, independent media officials, people saying that we're out calling for violence. We want to cause an armed revolt. We want to cause gun revolts and all. We want to stir up violence. That's totally all lies from hell. None of us want to do all that. All we want to do is get the truth out and get America back to where she should be, in the right standing with God and in the right standing with its people. You know, when you take a poll and over 70 or 80% of the people in the country don't even trust the government who serves them, that ought to tell you that somebody's lying, and it's not independent media. Or independent media is crazy, or not to listen to them. Why do you think they would tell you to only go to the FBI.gov website to only look at those photos that they had that weren't even the suspects? Why do you think they did that? Because they want you to believe in them because they have no credibility. That's the reason why. But when you go to independent media, you hear the real true stories about things. And that's the real truth of the matter, folks. You know, we need to all band together to be peaceful, and we can conquer these globalist, elitists, and crooks and criminals in our government, and fascists, including fascist dictator Obama. We can defeat all these people by way of InfoWars. We're not trying to cause a war or trying to cause for violence. No, that's not what we're doing at all. Instead of going in survival mode or Stockholm Syndrome, you need to get out of that. When you get kidnapped, you need to try to escape. You know, if that happens to you, you need to try to call the police. You need to call the people, you know. And there's people trying to, you know, wage war between the police and, you know, officers and, you know, even the community. And the community's trying to be, you know, mad at the police. You know, we've always had some people that are like that for years. But you got to understand, there are police that overstep their authority. And that's what does that, puts that fear in people that want to hate the police or don't want to have to talk to them. Because police sometimes do overstep their boundaries and misuse authority. But not all police do that. I know a lot of police that are law-abiding and are equal. We have a lot of good ones here in Hanover County, as a matter of fact, and in Henrico, too, and Richmond. And I know there's a lot of them all across this nation that are good, that will give their life for you, not to hurt you, but to represent you and like they've been trained to do the right way. Not to overstep their authority and use batons and beat you up and, you know, make it feel like you're in inches of your life like some officers have done. You know, those videos we see on YouTube, yeah, they're going on. And there are bad officers and police officers, but not all of them are bad. Most of them are good, but there are bad ones. And they're in every profession, not just police, FBI, you know, NSA. All of these agencies have bad people working in there. Not all of them are bad, though. I want to make that clear. Not all the people in all these agencies are bad, but some of them are. And so you're going to always have that. So, you know, it's just a fact of life. That's why they need to be exposed and stopped. You see, and that's what we're trying to do at De Silvas Media, the Freedom Network, and that's what Alex Jones is trying to do at Infowars.com, and that's what Talk to Solomon's trying to do at TalkToSolomon.com. That's what we're trying to do. Larry Pratt, all these people, you know, Rand Paul, they're all trying to do the same exact thing. It's trying to expose the evildoers, to get them out, to wake up America with information, with InfoWars, which is information, the truth, where no one else will tell the truth, or where you can't get the word out of the authorities. But, you know, it doesn't matter what happens. The truth always comes out. Just like the truth came out about the Boston bombings, that was a false flag. Just like the truth came out about 9/11, that was a false flag. Just like the truth came out about Oklahoma City bombings before that, that was a false flag. He said, and that's just three things I'm naming. There's a lot more things that have happened, but that's the thing that comes off the top of my head. Just like the explosion down there in Waco, Texas, they're thinking that may have been staged by a provocateur. But we don't really know for sure. It's not gospel yet, but they're saying that somebody set that explosion now. They're saying that there's one man there that was there working that had something to do with the explosion, and they're thinking that he had something to do with that. And that's why that happened, because normally, plants don't usually blow up like that. Where there's a 100-foot crater, you know, where they were once in their plate, where the plant was in its place. That's, you know, apparently somebody had to know about those chemicals and had to set off a charge just right to make that happen. So, you know, somebody had to have done that. I mean, there have been explosions at fertilizer plants a lot, off and on all throughout history, all around the world, but nothing like that. So, you know, to me, I think there's something a little fishy about it too, because I know they were having problems with Monsanto's. You know, HMO, the people that are behind the HMO crops that were having troubles with them, and off and on. And it could have been an outside thing that may have blown up that plant because they probably were going to lose the court hearing with the fertilizer plant. And they might have done that out of revenge. So, and then, hey, over the weekend, there was a Mother's Day parade. I don't know where, but it was on the internet here in the United States somewhere, and there was a shooting there. Alex Jones reported it. It happened at, there was a local here in the nation, not here in Virginia, but local as in the United States. There was a Mother's Day parade that they do every year, and there was somebody there that was shooting people there. So I don't know if someone's trying to stage something that it looks kind of fishy to try to cause more laws to be drawn up to take away our guns. Because, this is what they do. It has a lot of the thing that happened there. I don't know if it was just a mad individual, because sometimes there are mad individuals, but I don't think all people should be punished. And I'll state it again, to lose their rights just because there's a few nuts among us. See? Because, all people that have guns, like myself, I don't go out shooting people because I'm angry, or even people I'm mad at, or even neighbors or anything. But I do shoot people if I'm protecting myself, or if I'm in war. Doggone right. Because I'm going to protect my fellow neighbor, and I'm going to protect my fellow citizen too. But the thing is, I'm not going to go crazy with it, because I'm not crazy. Far from it. One of the most sane person, just like Alex Jones. I said insane, but I meant to say we're two of the most sane people on the planet. We just bring the truth to you. We love you. We want you to know the truth. We want you to know about the real stuff that's going on. And that's what's so important. That's why we risk our lives to do this. That's why I risk my life to do this. Because I love you. And I want you to know the truth. And I want you to wake up. It's so important that you wake up. Because if you don't, it's going to be too late. But I just wanted to give you a few things about what's going on over the weekend and what they're saying about how Christians, like I remind you, Christians, veterans, patriots, and Jews are all labeled by military and by all agencies. They're sending these out to all military and police that we're all terrorists, and that we're revered as being more fearful than any criminal. And that's all lies from hell. We're not terrorists. We're not blowing up buildings. We're not taking down towns. We're not doing all that, but we're being accused of being in that kind of thing. And that is so nuts. People, the people that are behind this, they need to be arrested. They need to be They need to be psychoanalyzed. They need to go through an evaluation, get themselves checked out, because they're the one that's crazy. Because no Christian is doing none of these things that we're being accused of, or what we've been labeled of as being surveilled as being possible a threat. That is just so nuts. And to say that, that Alex Jones or the Patriot movement is calling for violence, that is absurd too. That is a pack of lies from hell. The only thing that he's calling a war on is information. Information. That's not weapons. That's not violence of any kind. That's just using ideas. And maybe they're scared of that because people are conveying ideas. Just like I'm conveying ideas to wake you up, to get you to know so you don't fall asleep. Stop falling into survival mode, which is known as Stockholm Syndrome. That's how people get taken over. That's how nations get defeated. Because you got a bunch of whips because we're scared and we don't want to do nothing, so we just freeze up. You don't want to freeze up because it's not going to make you escape. You got to talk yourself out of that. And if you're like that, there's ways you can train yourself to overcome that so that you can break that. Because if you freeze up when something's going on and they fully take over this country, when you wake up, it's not going to be the same. And it's not going to get better just because they say it will. Because that's a lie from hell. When they take control, you're pretty much going to be totally enslavement. And you're totally not going to be able to do whatever you want to do. And if you do try to do something they don't like to do, they'll either rape you if you're a woman, beat you, or kill you. So, don't go and freeze up and get scared and go into Stockholm Syndrome, because that's not going to help. We need active, live bodies that can think on their own and that can do things. And if we need to fight physically, we need people that can do that. And if you really are a true American, that's what you should be having the mindset of. Now, we don't want to get to the fighting part. Like I said, we don't want to get to the fighting part. But, if they start firing on us, we're going to fire back. See? But we don't want to fire on nobody. We don't want them firing on us, and we don't want to fire on them. We just want to fire with information. That's the war we've been doing for what Alex Jones has been doing for 20-some years. And I've been doing it for the past 10 years. So we want to fire with information. Informed everybody. There's no crime. There's no war. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no violence. That march up that guy's doing, they may say it's civil disobedience. It's not. Going to Washington with loaded guns is illegal. To go in there with firearms that are loaded. You can go in there with firearms and your bullets, but they cannot be loaded. Yeah, I know why he's doing it. The guy that's doing this march on Independence Day, I know why he's doing it. Because the country is trying to take that right away. And in the Constitution, it says you can do things like that when you question authority. And they're doing it as a peaceful exercise. There's nothing there where they're going to go in there and cause a war. They're not going to fire on nobody unless the police start firing on them or other government agencies start open firing. And that's when they're going to fire. But their whole objective is just to march to the Capitol from Langley, Virginia, march to the Capitol, and march right back. That's it. Peacefully. Have their guns, in a peaceful manner. They're not going to be pointing them at people like they were doing in Boston, Massachusetts, and like they were doing at the people when Hurricane Katrina came, where they took the guns from the people from Hurricane Katrina. They were pointing guns at them too. No, we don't want to be doing that. We're just going to march peacefully. There's nothing there that says anything about firing on people or causing an act of war. I would probably not use revolt against the government. That's not words. I would change those words and say something else, but not that way, because it does sound hostile when you use those words. But really, I can assure you, I know this guy, Madman and Beyond the Man. I think it's a show. He's not mad at all, though, but he's just mad about freedom, and he's doing this as a demonstration of that. And it's going to be totally peaceful. I guarantee it's peaceful as long as everybody else behaves themselves, meaning the authorities and the police and the government and all that. It will be peaceful. They'll go in there with their guns loaded, peacefully, publicly displayed, just hanging there like they're allowed to, because you're allowed to have them shown, just as long as you're not threatening people with them. It's not against the law. You can openly display them, but you can't have them loaded. You see, that's in the Capitol. It's illegal to have any firearm loaded. See, and if you go in there carrying it, that's one thing. But when it's loaded, that's going to be violation of law, because that's what they have on the books there. So I would make sure that your guns are not loaded. You can go there with your arms and take your bullets with you, but don't have them in the chassis or in the chambers. Otherwise, you're going to probably be facing some jail time. But I don't think it's a good idea, because it may be an opportunity for a provocateur to do something, and I don't think it's a good idea. They could sabotage this event, which is supposed to be perfectly peaceful, that come into another event where there's casualties because of some evil influence in our government. So I don't think it's a good idea, because it's like we don't want to give them an invitation to do something to us by us doing something to exercise our freedoms, but it's a risk you got to take. So I applaud the man from the Madman show. I applaud him. I think it's wonderful what he's doing, because we need to protest against these things, and they're doing it peacefully too. I think it's wonderful, because this is what real democracy and what real freedom is. When you got a government trying to encroach on your rights and take away your freedoms more and more every day, that's why we need to stand up and exercise them. Like I said, if you don't exercise freedom and liberties, you will lose them, folks. So that's what we need to do, right? So instead of sitting on your butt with your head up on your rear end or in the ground, you need to wake up and get brave, because things are going to get worse from here on out. And if you don't wake up, you're going to be a victim. And the reason why you're a victim is because you cost that to yourself. Get your head out of your video games. Get your head out of the football games. Get your head out of the races. Get your head out of, Game of Thrones. Get your head out of all that stupid stuff. And get your head to what you need to worry about is keeping your family and your country safe. And think about your freedoms and rights and fight against that. Call your congressman. Call your lawyers. Not lawyers, but you might need to call them if you're in trouble. But call, if you're doing something right, you might need them. But if you're calling, call your legislators, call your Senate people in your area, call your governor, call your mayor, do these things, because this is what I'm doing. That's why the first thing is getting the news out. Create your own YouTube channel. It don't have to be fancy, but you can still tell valid and accurate information. Because, I show you videos. If you've been on my Facebook page or you've seen them, coming up, if you're a subscriber to my channel, you can see, these police brutalities, they're really going on. And checkpoints all over the country, they're going on. These videos we've been putting out the last couple of months. Because this is an infringement of your freedom. And this is what police do when they use their powers the wrong way. But not all police are doing this, okay? I have a lot of friends. I've gone to school with a lot of police that are here in Virginia, in Mechanicsville. And they are good people. A lot of them are in Hanover County. They're very good police. And they're honest. And they fight alongside you. They really would. But there are a few that are in the department that are corrupt. There are a few bad ones in there, too, that are concerned that they let me know about. But they are in our county, too. I mean, you got some bad people in Henrico Police, too. You got them all over the place. I'm not going to name each legality. But they are in there. And if they are in there, the bad people, cops, you need to report those people. And you need to get them out of your departments. Because they're going to make you look bad, you know. Because they go and misuse their power and authority, you know. They're going to make you look bad in the long run because everybody's going to start hating the police. You know, and it may even trigger an incident with, you know, with the people. It may cause a war, you know, because you're all out to help promote peace. You're servants of peace. And if you have somebody violating the authority and treating people like a thug and drug mentality, like police are shown on these videos that they're doing, not all of them are doing it, but there are ones that are, it gives you all, the good ones, a bad name. So, you know, those few bad apples, we need to get them out of there. And you need to report those to your superiors and get them fired. And if your superior, your police chief is corrupt, then you need to go higher and talk to them. But you don't sit there and allow this just to go on and be silent, like they call the code of blue or silence. Because this is not something you want to keep silent. Because if they look bad, it makes your whole department look bad. It makes your whole county look bad. It makes your whole bureau look bad. And everybody, if people just gives more of an information not to distrust the police even more. When you have a few bad police doing those things and there's a lot of good police, it makes all the police look bad. And that's what we don't want. But there's people trying to do that in the police department. They're trying to make everybody look bad so everybody has a fear of the police, which is not what we want. We want the police to work and integrate with civilians and work with us. Because that's why they're hired and why they've been elected to have that position as a police officer, to work with us, not against us. Okay? And most police do that. But there's a few that want to ruin it for all the ones that do the right thing. And those are the ones that I've been showing the bad videos. Not to say that all police officers have a bad name, because I respect police. I think they do a wonderful job. I think they put their life on the line every day. And I know a lot of them do it honestly, but there's some that in their department or in every department in this nation that are crooked. And those are the ones you need to get rid of. You need to knock them out, weed them out, as they say. All right, well, this is my blog entry for Monday, May 13th, 2013. Michael DeSilvis Media, the Freedom Network. In order to keep your country free, like I've said earlier, make sure to exercise your freedom and liberties. Otherwise, you won't have them. Like I said, it's up to you. Wake up. Wake up other people who are still sleeping. Wake them up. Religiously, as well as morally, and as well as what is really going on. So they know what's going on. Let them know what's going on once they're waking up. And all get together and let's all, attack these globalists and all these bad people and expose them for who they really are by using what is called InfoWars. That's information. There's no war and ideas. We need to do that because the speech is the most powerful thing. It's more powerful than the sword. And it's more powerful than written word because speech, when you speak it, has a lot more power when it's conveyed. That's what I was always taught in speech. That's what I was always taught in the Bible because speech is a lot more powerful than what you write. Spoken word, when it's written and read, is a lot more powerful than just reading it. So think about that. Because we can change this country. It's not impossible. We can get it back to where she was. We can get America back to where she was. But we all have to do this together. I love you. I'll see you later. Please help support us. My address is 7110 New Hunter Road, apartment 423, Mechanicsville, Virginia 23111. We need your financial support. Call us up or send us some support. Please help us because we do need it. If you want us to keep, I need to get up to Washington. It's going to cost me to get a bus up there or to ride with somebody. I've got to pay people for gas, and also it's going to cost for equipment and things, so we really need your support. So please help us out. Thanks a lot. This is Michael DeSilvis. Soldiers, y'all keep exposing those bad people in the government, the ones that are doing the bad stuff. You're doing a good job. That is so awesome. Keep doing the good work. I love you, and stay brave and be strong. Peace.